All right, good morning, everyone. We will call this meeting to order, and Mr. Brittany, if you could lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
All heads bowed, please. Dear Lord, we thank you for getting us out of the bed this morning and giving us the strength and energy to get here. Now we ask that you be with us as we try to solve some problems for our county. I ask that we not be in an adversarial position among the members or our constituents who are here. Watch over our first responders, whether they be county, state, or federal. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Wilson, if you could give us a roll call.
Yes, sir. Darrell Jeter, District 1.
Here.
Sheldon Glover, District 2.
Here.
Eddie Skeen, District 3.
Here.
Michael Bricky, District 4.
Here.
Danny Castile, District 5.
Here.
Chris Manus, District 6.
Here.
Stephanie Addington, at large.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum?
Excellent. All right, has everyone had a chance to look over the agenda today? It's a little longer than last time. Any additions, deletions?
I do have one deletion, Mr. Chairman, and that is under County Department reports to delete John Kilgore, Economic Development Authority. He will be reporting the July meeting.
Okay. So that's in July. Any others?
There's one addition I'd like to make, and that is the school funding
School funding, okay. Is that,
regarding the budget.
would that be better left for the budget workshop?
No, I'd ask Mr. Wilson to check into some things with a couple of counties.
Okay. Where do you want to put that?
I mean, we could talk about it here, the workshop, either one. I do have information on that.
Thank you.
But,
I mean, seeing as how it is budget related, might or be in the budget workshop? Or
I would prefer that it be on the regular agenda.
does anybody else have that same preference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't matter to me.
Okay.
Or would do that, well, we could, I could talk about it under my report, that wouldn't take an addition, or the supervisor comments, or wherever.
I think that's best. You're the one that's looked up all the
Yeah,
information.
I can touch on that under my
Is it under
miscellaneous.
miscellaneous?
Okay.
So we just have that deletion.
Okay. All right, with the deletion of Mr. Kilgore for a report from the Economic Development Authority, does anyone have anything else or a motion to approve the agenda as it stands with this deletion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Jeter makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Castile seconds. All right. All in favor, vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right, agenda is approved. We have several minutes to approve here this morning. Can we do those all in a row, or should we just do them? Okay. Here I am trying to take shortcuts. First up, the minutes from April 29th, 2006, budget workshop minutes. Has everybody had a chance to go over those minutes and look at them? Is there anybody that has a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion to approve those.
Mrs. Glover makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Go ahead. Zach.
I heard Miss Addington first, so we'll say Miss Addington seconds. Everybody in favor, vote by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on to May 6th, 2026 minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Is there anybody that has a motion for the approval of the May 6th minutes?
So moved.
All right.
And I'll second it.
Mr. Jeter makes the motion, Ms. Glover seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye. Motion carries. May 6th budget workshop minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look over those? All right. I hear a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Mr. Bricky makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Addington seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye. All right. Motion carries. On to May 15th, 2026 budget workshop minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Ms. Glover makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bricky seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye. All right. Finally, May 22nd, 2026 budget workshop minutes. Has everyone had a chance to go over those? Are there any changes? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as they stand?
So moved.
Ms. Addington makes that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Ms. Glover seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye.
it. Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, we got through all of that. Now for citizens expression. Looks like we had a few signed up today. I haven't been able to log in, so I don't have my little piece of paper, but I'll do my best to recite it from memory. Citizens expression time is a time for you, the citizens, to express your opinions or needs. We will hear what you have to say, but we may not take any immediate action. Everything you say will be considered in future discussions. There is a 5-minute time limit that will be up on the screen, and we ask that your comments be concise and businesslike, free of foul language. I think that covers it.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was a sign-up sheet. We'll go with the ones that have signed up first, and then after that, if you have comments, just feel free to come up and in an orderly manner. All right, first on our sign-up sheet, Burl Lance.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Burl Mattis. I'm representing our church in Fairview. It's Fairview Apostolic Church of Jesus Christ. We're in the process of doing some construction. We're adding a baptistry, and the process has already started, and I'm just here to ask your consideration to waive the permit fees, including the electrical and plumbing. Any questions? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, can I say on that, the way we waived permit fees in the past is not charged when we get the permit. With the new system won't let us put the fee in. So they would have to pay the fee and then get reimbursed. We'd have to send them a check.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll consider that after we close citizens expression. Danny Kessler. Did I say your right name, sir?
Close to it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning. As you said, I'm Danny Kessler from East Carter's Valley. When you supervisors campaign for office, what did you campaign on? Have you kept your word? Some of you have. Thank you to Eddie Skings and Danny Castile for trying to help us taxpayers, for not quitting when some censored you. Over 400 students from Tennessee go to our schools. They pay no tuition. Yuma and Weber City schools are being remodeled to hold the increase. We, the taxpayers, pay for this. Our elderly and the people on fixed income are most affected by this. This is not right. Our Public Works Department, they are supposed to take care of our trash. But we have citizens coming to this board almost every month with complaints, with dumpsters full, trash flying from the transfer trucks, waste sites closed early, trucks broken down. They have the same problems, no real solutions from this department. We might as well be putting our money through a paper shredder. We have cameras at the waste sites. How many tickets have been given and how much money has this generated? Our EDA, Economic Development Authority, what is this we pay for? Is it jobs, tax growth, new business that comes and stays? And the key word is stays. For example, Riverside in River City. We paid over $2 billion for this 15 years ago, but we have no jobs and no tax from it. I believe the county is still paying for this. And how much interest have we paid on this loan? I guess the joke is on the taxpayers. Let's talk about other wasted money. We have an animal warden and a little warden. Each month, citizens come to this board and complains of no response to the calls, no follow-up to the problems. They have the same calls many times, or they have to call many times to get a response. What are we paying for? We do pay for these wardens to drive their county truck home. One, I believe, may drive over 20 miles home. How much gas could that cost us in a year's time? Could that be over $2,000 if we pay out for them to drive back and forth to home and back? Park them at the county office. Our calls for them are very seldom. This is wasted money. This board needs to listen to the taxpayers, not the department managers. Our population is getting close to dropping below 20,000. We need jobs, businesses that comes and stays, no Tennessee students that we pay for. I ask each supervisor and our county administrator to go talk to the taxpayers. Stop the budget increase. The time is now. And again, thanks to Eddie and Dan for trying to help us. I guess I've said enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kessler. Mr. Baker, I believe you're next.
Gary Baker, Boozy Creek. Chris, I don't know if I can get through here in 5 minutes or not.
Right, this.
I saw in the paper where there was 2.5% cost of living raise for the county employees, and not against that at all. But I know back when I was in there, 12 years, I think I had 2 raises. And I think we went 8 years there once without a raise at all. But anyway, it was said in the paper that we was going to add it to the real estate. I recommend putting it on personal property. But before you do anything, every one of these departments needs to be cut to bare minimum. I don't care who they are. And at least 10%. And all these jobs where you got 2 sitting in one office, get rid of them. You know who they are, you know what they do. And instead of your record, before you raise taxes, take care of that. And the first 2 things. Now on the students, 1.3 million is what I've heard. I've heard 1.1, 1.3, I don't know which one's right. But we've got about 26% of senior citizens in Scott County. And our population, like Mr. Kessler said, is going down. It's went down about 5,000 since I was in there. So, and with 16% of the taxpayers, well, not taxpayers, but citizens are children. They don't pay taxes. So you've got about 48% paying the taxes because the seniors can't do it. And that's why I'm asking you today, please don't raise these taxes. And if the schools can't reimburse us, then I'd cut them, whether it higher lift the devil or not. And on the reassessment, I said 600,000 in here. I was totally wrong. I got to thinking about that later on, and what that was, that's what I had figured up. If you hired somebody and them gawk around and try to do the reassessment themselves, it would cost around 600,000 in 6 years to do that reassessment. But 300's right. I wanted to correct that. And as you know, if you can lay off racing taxes this year, next year you're gonna have all kinds of taxes, because these people coming in here from California, up north and everywhere else, buying up our property and our houses and stuff. Dang, that reassessment's gonna go up so high, it's gonna be pitiful next year. And as you know, you just get to throw out the top one and the lowest one, and everything else is, they have to use that, all the sales as what you go by. And whatever the land looks like. Well, anyway, you know all about that. I don't have to tell you, but it's gonna go up so high, it's gonna be pitiful next year. And anyway, before you do the taxing on real estate, think about personal property. I know that in 2020, I believe it was 2020, they set a law that you couldn't raise the sticker no more than what the license fee is for the state, for the vehicles. I don't know what that license fee is, but we're probably right at it. I'm not for sure, but if there's any way that you could use that sticker, I know back in the old days, they used that sticker to build the schools, and when the schools got built, they didn't take it back off. So you might want to use that, increase that, or double the personal property if you have to. But there's people out here that drives an automobile and they rent, and they don't have no land. So Chris, I caused enough trouble, I guess, and Bill about got me out of time here. And there's more that I can say. Now the EDA, if they don't give you that money, I'd bust them. I wouldn't even pay their budget. And that's what I'd do, because they ain't done that. Riverside sat down there all these years, and I remember when gee, what's her name? I can't even think right now. The one that sold the property.
Miss Bray.
Yeah, Miss Bray. I remember I called her and I said, when are you going to sell this property? She said, all they have to do is ask me. That right at G. Anyway, we could have that property done a long time ago if they would have just worked on it. And we'd have had money coming in here. We've lost all these gun manufacturers coming from, well, they probably wouldn't come into Virginia now anyway with the new gun laws. I'm sorry, I'm running over. Thank you, Chris, for your time.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Hurd, and I am from District 2. I am here today on several occasions. One, I work with Scott County Strong, and I just want to let everyone know that we are trying to be at every event that they have in this county, and we will be at Nicholsville this weekend and at the Jeep event in Dungan, I think the next weekend, and that is strictly for our organization. I'm also up here because I have FOIA'd some stuff. I FOIA'd a lot of emails, and in there I had come across emails that were very much for these data centers. And everyone's telling us data centers bring in money, they bring in this, and I said, well, we've got one in here. Let me go see how much this one pays. And I was very, very shocked to understand that the data center that we have in Duffield only pays $5,700 in taxes a year on personal property and real estate. And then I also noticed that one of the buildings up there is not being taxed. I don't know if it's the county owns that building, but according to what the RGIS says, it is owned by One Partner LLC. I am against big data centers that come in here and pollute, but small ones like in Duffield, I think it's brilliant. They don't use hardly any electricity, they don't come for our water. So if we're looking at data centers, I would ask that we do that, or I'm even asking that we do an ordinance to stop data centers to come in here until they can prove that they can give us the revenue that we're supposed to be getting from them. And the last thing I want to talk about is the EDA and the sale of the building. They sold it for $740,000, but it's valued at $3 million. My question is, why did we take such a low price for that? Because that up there is taxpayer money that we're losing all that money. We're losing over what, $1.something million that could have been given to you all without having that, the EDA saying, well, we'll give it to you as a loan. That's county money. There's nothing to loan. But anyway, that is my thing for today, and I honestly would like the board to do a ordinance that limits data centers from coming in here. So I don't know if you all would want to do that or vote on that, but that's what I asked.
Ms. Hurd, I do have a question.
Yeah.
What's the name of the data center now in Duffield?
What is it, Advanced something tech, isn't it? What is the one up in Duffield called?
It's right behind.
It's right behind H&G. So they own 2 buildings and 2 properties, but they're only being taxed for this very old, ugly building and then 2 pieces of land. The building is not being taxed, and that's like $1 million building. So that's something that I think needs to be looked into because we're not getting revenue from that. I pay almost as much in taxes as they do. That's not fair. But anyways, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Tice.
Good morning, I'm Bob Tice, and as usual, Peg usually shows up at all these meetings talking about paving Snowflake Road. She can't be here, so I told her I'd try to show her. But anyhow, the main thing I'm concerned about is the road is on a 6-year plan, and like I've said before, everybody here will be dead and gone before the 3 miles got paved on Snowflake Road if it stays on a 6-year plan. Because every 6 years you get a half a mile and there's 3 miles to be paved. Well, I got to thinking the other day, and I need y'all's help on this if anybody thinks they can help. What about reclassifying a secondary road to a primary road and falling within the budget to have some work done? And we've all seen secondary roads getting repaved, new surfaces put down. For instance, Pin Oak, Antioch Road got resurfaced, and that's about a mile. Well, they're not primary roads. So I was thinking, well, what would it take to reclassify Snowflake Road as a primary road? And the reason why that I was thinking about, if you needed a reason, is that if it was paved, the 3 miles that needs to be paved, if it was paved, people in our area, and especially in Moxon Creek area, Big Moxon area, a lot of people down there, if they want to go to Twin Springs or Dungannon to a doctor's office or whatever, to get on a paved road, they got to go all the way to Nicholsville. But if Snowflake was the 3 miles paved, it would be paved all the way. You could get on a paved road all the way to Twin Springs, Dungannon, or where else that you wanted to go. So anyhow, what I'm advocating is, anybody's got any idea about reclassifying a secondary road to a primary road, and I don't know if it's ever been done before, but what would it take, and who do you need to talk to? I know Peg's talked to the lady or the man up in the state that's over the roads, and every time she called, she had to leave a message, and guess what? Never got a return call. Never have been in touch with her. But anyhow, if y'all come up with an idea, or somebody can help, let me or Peg know what it would take to reclassify a secondary road to a primary road. And I don't know if it's ever been done, but if it hadn't, let's make it the first time. Thank you.
Gary Matthews.
Morning, I'm Gary McNew, I live out in the downtown section. Mr. Baker's right, 26% of people in this county are 65 and older. Over 20% of people in this county are either on welfare or social services. You only get 41% of people in this county that live here and work in Scott County, Virginia. They have to work other places. Most of them work in Tennessee. Thing I don't understand is you got the Wilkes City Fire Department, and my understanding is that we gave them money to put this really fancy door on. They don't serve Scott County. They serve Wilkes City. I don't understand why the county is paying for Wilkes City's upgrades. He could have bought a cheaper door than what he bought. But if I'm remodeling a house, if you'll give me money, I'll make it like a mansion. I was over at the budget workshop for a few minutes, and the school board portrayed that they needed $1.5 million from the county to pick up $14 million from the state. Well, that's a good deal. But then we made the statement, you know, we do services for the school board that we get reimbursed for, but we're not in the business of making money. We're only in the business of giving money away. Why don't we? Nothing illegal about it, the attorney sitting right here. Why don't we charge extra money for the service we do for the school board, then get that money back to where it's not a burden on the taxpayers. This 8% fire tax, you can call it what you want to. You can call it a river tax, a widget tax, whatever you're going to do. You still want to take money out of the citizens' pocket. And quite honestly, I don't think they can stand that. It's a farce, and it needs to stop. Look at saving money instead of spending money. That's all I got. Thank you.
This time.
My name is Jennifer Pike, and I'm a resident of Fort Blackmore. I'm here this morning to clarify confusion and misinformation concerning my appointment to the Heart of Appalachia Board. I want to start by saying you were provided with incorrect information. I have been a loyal board member on behalf of Scott County since this appointment, never taking any compensation for attending these meetings, which is allowable. The Heart of Appalachia Executive Board voted on June 4th, 2025 to seek my professional assistance in the upcoming General Assembly session. I responded by saying I needed to consult with the State Ethics Council for an opinion on representing the Heart of Appalachia while still holding my position, as this is my first obligation. I reached out to the Executive Director of the Ethics Council, and he sent me this email. This email, he clearly states, he clearly states that it is not a conflict to do both, represent the Heart of Appalachia before the General Assembly while still serving Scott County as a voting board member. At the October 4th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting, which is on YouTube for anyone to review, my board appointment was added to your agenda. You were told by the county administrator that I had, quote, taken a position with the Heart of Appalachia, and so therefore she cannot serve on the board in a voting capacity anymore, end quote. Further information was provided as Board Chairman Manus asked, quote, and she lost her ability to vote because she took a contract with them, end quote, which Mr. Wilson stated yes, I believe as a lobbyist. And then Mr. Chairman Manus further asked, and that's part of their bylaws. And the county administrator, Wilson, confirmed yes. I'm sorry that each of you were provided with this incorrect information. I am not an employee of the Heart of Appalachia, and to this date, never entered into a contract or received any compensation from them whatsoever. Each of you trusts that you're being provided with accurate information. Based on the information you were provided, you concluded that I should be removed from the board of directors. However, you didn't initiate the proper removal process as outlined in the Code of Virginia. This is why this action rises to serious concerns. The Code of Virginia clearly states there's a removal process for appointed board members as we are sworn in by the circuit court clerk. These reasons are very specific in nature: malfeasance, incompetence, and gross neglect of duty. I do not meet any of the criteria for removal. These standards exist to protect public institutions from political interference and to ensure that board members can exercise independent judgment without fear of retaliation. To date, I've had no communication from the county administrator or the Scott County attorney regarding this matter. No email, no phone call, no letter in the mail. I have continued to attend the Heart of Appalachia meetings and vote on business matters and do what I was appointed to do, because this board has never voted to initiate the process of removal through the Scott County Circuit Court. In short, in the eyes of the law, I am still a voting member of the Heart of Appalachia Board. So here we are today, as I stand before you, disheartened and perplexed at how I have been wronged and treated as a native and current resident of Scott County. At your latest budget meeting on May the 22nd, this matter was discussed as a result of you receiving a letter from my attorney. The letter extended each of you the opportunity to receive clarification and correct this grievous error. The board chose once again not to correct this grievous error. I want to make it very clear today that I will continue to serve in my appointed capacity until I am notified by the Scott County Circuit Court that I have officially been removed. The most sensible and logical solution would have been for the county administrator to have asked me to attend that October 25 board meeting and provide you with updates and answer any questions regarding my appointment. This approach would have prevented confusion, stress, and the financial burden that my husband and I have taken on to attempt to clarify and correct this unjust action. I have struggled trying to explain to so many who have asked why this action has been taken against me. I cannot provide them an answer because I don't know myself. I hope this provides each of you with the accurate information to understand the wrong that has been committed by this board. Most importantly, when you find out that you make a wrong decision, correct it, and don't be afraid to admit that you were wrong. That's what makes us all better leaders. This is not the end of this matter, and I will continue to fight for my rights as a citizen of Scott County and the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Mr. Doctor, Bill Doctor.
Morning, everybody. Bill Doctor out of the Midway area. I usually don't attend these meetings, but the reason I don't attend these meetings a lot of times, you all are hired to take care of these problems. I say hired, we voted you all in to take care of these problems we've got on these taxes. And it seems like every year, we're over here trying to figure out how in the world these taxes are going to be raised again. People, we don't need to get these taxes raised. That should not happen. If you all manage your money good enough, hey, we wouldn't have a problem. These people will be back there behind me, and like myself, could be home right today and mowing her hay instead of coming over here worrying about you all's problems you all should take care of. Like I said, we voted you all in to take care of this problem. And if you manage your money right, I promise you, You won't have no problem. But a couple of things, I noticed too while back, I got to looking, when I say manage money right, I noticed Carter Falls was like $40,000. Maybe wrong on this, y'all correct me. Y'all ended up giving them $20,000. Why in the world would you give our money away for? That's my money, that's your money. That's these people back here's money. That's a waste of money, folks. That right there is. You all, like I said again, we hired you to take care of us. We're depending on you to do that. Some of you are not doing that. I promise you, some of you are not. EDA. Let's talk about the EDA just for a second. I have lived here all my life. Yeah, I may hurt some feelings, but I could care less about that, and I may lose some friends. I could care less about that. Let me tell you something. I've been here all my life. The EDA in this county needs to overhaul change. We're paying money out that we shouldn't pay. Folks, let me tell you something. This EDA has done nothing for our county. If you go around our county, you look, I go around it a lot. There's nothing in our county. There's no industry in our county. You know why? Because the people don't want it. They're happy with what they're making. Taxes, money. You guys need to look back. You need to go back and you need to start cutting people's salaries in this county big time. You're paying them way too much. You say, well, they get mad and leave. Hey, no, they won't. They've got it made. If they're making $100,000, cut them $30,000. Watch them. They'll still sit there and do nothing. Yeah. One more thing. The reassessment. I don't know why. I don't know where you guys get these people from, but you need to hire somebody in this county to reassess our property. Bottom line, the people in Richmond, places like that, don't know about our county. Nobody does. Just us. We know our county. We know what it's worth. Thank you.
That concludes our list of people that have signed up. Is there anybody that hasn't signed up that would like to speak? And if you could, when you come to the podium, please state your name and where you're from. Okay.
Hi, my name is Kathy Riley. I live on Poplar Creek Road here in Duffield. I wasn't going to come. I was cleaning my house. As you can see, I worked my best, but I figured I needed to come to speak in front of everybody. The last time I came was when the reassessment was started. And what I did was I did a spreadsheet, and I presented it, gave one to each of the members, along with the clerk of court to put it with the file. That spreadsheet had listings of residential properties and business properties. And what I did was I broke it out as what they were paying for taxes and what the proposed taxes was. The last reassessment, they were going basically a 40% straight across the board increase to everybody's property taxes. But in the spreadsheet that I presented, many of, I want to call them uppity-ups, higher-ups, their taxes, their proposed taxes and the proposed increase did not increase. Some of them went down. Businesses, same thing. They didn't increase. Some of them went down. I didn't understand that. Where I live on Poplar Creek Road, everybody got a hit with a 40% increase. Why? I live with half my property. Yeah, I may have acreage, but the majority of it is unusable. So where was the 40% going to? I came to the equalization board and I fought it, and it did get brought to where it should have been. Many of the people that live on that road are elderly. They did not have that opportunity, or they did not understand, so they paid the 40%. These are fixed income people. I'm fixed income. I'm over 65 years old. I don't have it coming out of wherever. So what I have is what I got, and I have to live on it. You guys keep presenting and increasing the taxes because your wants override your needs is unacceptable. You have, everybody brought up Riverside. I brought that up too. This property had been sitting on the books. The county paid too much money for it. It sat empty. You bought in a data center or whatever that was, a call center. They turned around and left. You're still sitting on a building. Now you have a church. correct, religious organizations do not pay taxes. So you're sitting there with all this property and getting nothing for it. Salaries, people brought up salaries. I went online, because it's accessible information. There's so many in the county that are making $159,000 plus, $100,000 plus, $90,000 plus. You give them a 3% increase, that's $3,000. And what are they doing? Some of them have an assistant, and an assistant has an assistant, and an assistant has an assistant. I can look around this room, I see 2 cameras. I see 2 people, one's probably a clerk. I see Mr. Dingus. What are they all doing here? To me, I think it's a waste of time. I was the town clerk at Gate City. I took the meetings, I took the recordings, I did it all. So you have all these people doing what? Salaries need to be looked at. They're getting paid too much. Oh, what else do I want to talk about? Basically, don't increase the taxes. Look at your budget. I have a budget that I have to live on at home. There's a lot of ones that I like to get. Oh, personal tax, that's the one I want to bring up. I had to buy a car because my other car died. So I treated myself to a new car. Paid the taxes on it at the dealership. I don't even want to think what my personal tax is going to be on this. Why am I paying taxes again and again and again on my cars? I already paid it. That needs to be brought down. But you just need to look at what you're doing. Everybody's saying they're leaving Scott County. There's a reason. I moved up here because I liked it. I like the privacy. I like the area. I like the peacefulness. And I like the people. But when you have people, the board, making a decision because they're way over on their budget and they can't spend the money correctly, you're just doing something wrong. And I would love to sit on your budget meetings. I would love to be able to cut the fat off of it because I know I can. I have to do it every month with my budget at home. You guys need to do it here. Thank you.
I don't believe you had your hand up.
Good morning. My name is Margaret Crouch. I live on the other side of Duffield. I have a more general comment about taxes. I know I'm in the minority, but I believe taxes are the price we pay to live in a civilized society. I don't think it's reasonable to imagine that we can have a functioning community with everything that includes and nobody has to pay for it. I just don't think that's the way the world works. Thank you for your work and thank you for your time this morning.
Sorry, I didn't see which one of you had your hand up first.
After you, sir.
I'm sorry about
Ah, you're okay.
Good morning. I'm Darrell Gardy. I live up our next, I live on Adney Frame, Snowflake Road. I come through there all the time with the school bus. Of course, school's out now, and that's fine. And we've been here several times, 6-year plans, all I've heard all my life, 6-year plans. It took me 50 years to get my road paid to Adney Springs Road. Now I'm trying to work on Snowflake because I go through there twice a day. I'd like to appreciate anything you do. I thought about mentioned about put private tax things on a 6-year plan like the road committee. But I don't think that'll work out too good. But it's a thought. But I appreciate you can do anything. And also Midway Road, where the sanitary landfill is getting in bad shape, where the tractor trailers come through there every day to haul trash out. It needs to be resurfaced. And the roads is getting hired over again through the Valley Creek and the Midway Road. I appreciate you doing anything, because Eddie done an awesome job of Snowflake Road and got that road cleared. We scrubbing the brushes, because I take the bus left and right when I drive. But you just do what you can do. Appreciate anything you can do if you can do it. And taxes get unreal anymore. If I didn't have a farm, I'd move, but I can't move a farm, so I just have to live with it. But I appreciate anything you can do. Keep that Snowflake Road need to be done. Cause I got rocks coming out the road. I got pictures for it coming out the road all times. Sure.
It's always at the worst time. Man.
Worst time, that's right. But anyway, you think if I could help, I would, but except you all do what you can do. Get together and help the county out. The county gets smaller in population. Let's make the county grow. Make changes. See what you can do. That's what we vote y'all in. So, see what you can do. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Kernan. I'm from Weber City. This is my first one of these. So I've never done this before. I just wanted an opportunity to come listen to my neighbors, people around me, and kind of see how that interacts with you all and the things that come up and the way things are responded to. I think the first thing I want to say is something that I was coming to say as well, with a little bit of a twist. The lady that said, you know, there's no way that we can have things without paying a little bit. I agree with that. Part of the social contract is taxes. We agreed to a social contract with our government. We say we will give up freedoms and we will pay taxes in order to be serviced properly and be given the things that we need for security, liberty, and freedom, right? The problem that I'm kind of hearing is we're upholding our end of the social contract and paying the taxes, but we're not having certain things that you all are supposed to provide as your end of the contract. For example, there's no trash pickup. We've heard about that, and I've personally been affected by that. Luckily, I have a beautiful neighbor, and they take our trash off for us, otherwise we'd be swimming in it. I have 4 little girls, and I'm the only provider for them. So you all decided to stop doing trash. Why should we pay taxes? You've taken away that social provision that you've been providing to us, and we're upholding our end, paying our taxes. So the contract doesn't seem to be agreeing anymore. Another thing we could bring up is roads. We have people saying there's not paved roads in this county that they can get to and from places easily. Again, the social contract dictates that if we're going to give up some of our freedoms and pay our taxes, that you all take action on our behalf to make our lives better. Then we can talk about opportunity, jobs, and things that you're bringing in here. And that's a complicated one, right? Because then you're dealing with businesses, corporations, entities that want and demand, and like the lady said, a $3 million building for $700,000. How does that happen? I think we all know how that happens. We're not here to service the corporations and the businesses. We're here to make sure that we're engaging in a social contract, my neighbors and I, and you all. So that's what I wanted to say, is that yes, I'm all for paying taxes. I don't mind to pay more taxes than I can afford to pay to make sure that we have all of these things, right? To make sure my neighbors have all of these things. But we don't have these things. So if we don't have these things, your end is not being upheld, and that's why you see the frustration that you see today. You see it from all different types of people that are older and don't want their real estate tax raised and want it put on the personal income tax. You hear people talking about how they can't afford personal income tax. You're never going to make everybody happy. But if we do these things to where we're taking care of the basic needs of the people of our county, then we have every reason to expect taxes to be provided to us. It's when we're not that we should not expect that, and that we should expect outrage from our citizens. Thank you for your time. This has been a real pleasure, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Anything else for public comment? We'll close public comment, and there's a few two actions that we probably need to take from this. First, in concerning the issue that Burl Manus brought up with Fairview out of stock. Do I have a motion to waive, or I guess refund that permit fees? Is that correct, Mr. Venus?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
All right, Mr. Jeter.
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Bricky seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Got you taken care of.
Thank you.
The next one, I think, that was brought up, that is an action that we could do, is Ms. Hurd brought up the ordinances for data centers. I think that is a good idea. There's, been improvements in the technology for those data centers, so I would like to see, if one did locate here, that they would have the most recent technology that uses the least water and causes the least environmental impacts. I think that's a great idea. Ms. Cagley, can we task you with reviewing what some other Virginia counties have done? I think, if I remember correctly, the meeting that you all attended in for VACO, there was a talk that Mr. Wilson got some talking points on. If you could look into that. Do we need a board action for that, or?
It would be a part of the zoning ordinance, and the planning commission would initiate that process. I think it's on our radar. Been waiting for more guidance from the state about guidelines for it, and they're not very forthcoming with that. So we're kind of on our own, and so I think the planning commission will be looking into it in the coming months, and we'll do what we can to have regulations that benefit the county.
And I'll attend those meetings. All right, so that's Ms. Hurd, Mr. Tice. Given the comments of Ms. Pine today, do we want to revisit that action from our budget meeting, or are you all okay with how it stands?
I would like to discuss it now, since you brought it up, so the public will have an idea of what transpired. She made several allegations. I'd like to hear from Mr. Wilson how this came about, how it was brought to your attention, what action you took. If you could explain to the public.
Could we wait till later to discuss that?
Okay.
And then take any actions?
Ms.
Afterwards?
Cagley, can we discuss this at this point, since you brought it up during citizens' expression?
You can discuss whenever you want to.
I suggest we respond now. Some of the public may not be aware of this, and I think they need to be given an opportunity to hear a response that she was looking for.
So
I'll second it, because I don't think we need to go back there behind closed doors and talk about it. I think the public needs to hear what went on.
Oh, no, I don't think that this is a closed session matter.
No, but I think.
But I didn't know if
Is
the
it a
board
budget?
wanted to revisit that decision that was made.
About budget. No.
Is that-
It's not a budget issue.
Yeah,
It's something else. So you're saying that? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying, does anyone want to revisit that vote that we took and maybe retake it?
I want to go into more detail on what took place. I don't think the public really realized maybe what she's talking about. And I'm sure you don't mind sharing that with us.
Well, there was, we had talked about it at our last, I guess it was in the workshop. A lot of the things that Ms. Pike brought up, especially her letter from the Ethics Council, I don't know that I've seen that. I don't recall seeing that. So, that's new information that I'm digesting now. But, if the board would so choose to revisit their last action.
You said you were contacted by the part of Appalachia.
I've had multiple conversations.
So they made the initial contact to let you know that she was needed to be removed, is that correct?
Well, I had discussed with them that, it was my understanding that she had taken employment with them. And again, I've never been given a ruling or whatever from the Ethics Council saying that she was, in fact, still eligible to serve on the board. If I'd known that, then of course I would have never recommended to this board to remove her.
Did you say that Mr. Hess, the director of Heart of Appalachia, told you that she no longer was qualified since she was employed? That was
From what I recall, yeah, he agreed that she's doing lobbying work for them.
And can no longer serve on the Heart of Appalachia based on the bylaws?
He sent the bylaws, I'd have to review.
But you did read
communication. I've had multiple phone conversations with him. Yes.
But you did read the bylaws, and in your opinion, it clearly states that she cannot be on the board.
Well, I don't know that the bylaws, I don't recall what the bylaws say.
I think we need to look back into that. Personally, I misunderstood, so I did make a mistake, and I would like to change my vote on that. So I think we really do need to go back into that and look into that.
Okay. So do we want to make that in a motion that we had from that last meeting, that the Board of Supervisors, what was the word on that? That the removal had no effect?
Correct.
And that she is still appointed to the Heart of Appalachia Board?
Yes.
Was there anything else that I need to include in that, Ms. Kay?
You have that with you?
Did you make a mistake? Did you want to say
There was a
that?
couple.
Yeah. I think that's appropriate.
It's kind of
That
just
we made a mistake as a board.
See what the letter says.
There was a couple.
And the reason why I'm doing this is I misunderstood. We had already voted on this previous at another meeting, and I thought that vote should stick. So, but with her talking to us and explaining everything, which I appreciate her coming up and doing so, yes, I definitely would like to change my vote on that.
Okay. Yeah, she,
I mean, I don't see any problem with her being on that board. I mean, she even stated, so.
yeah,
yes.
and to her point, it's not often that you get to go back and correct a mistake that you make. Sometimes you just have to live with it. But I think we can correct this one.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we confirm in writing that that the board's reported removal of Ms. Pike is withdrawn and of no force or effect. And say that we had improperly attempted to remove her and replace her by mistake, and that I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, Michelle. Ms. Glover, second. Do everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion carries. And
Can I say
Ms.
something?
Pike
This comes up for 3 times, this vote, okay? And the first time, there wasn't but 2 people voted not to just move Ms. Pike. There's Eddie Skeens and I. Last week it come up again. There's Eddie Skeens and I and Mr. Manus. Now this is 3 times this come up, but you look how everybody changed, because I think what it is, you heard this lady get up here and defend herself today. I think we've been lied to by some of these people right up here. And I also will say that y'all probably read it. It was something that I was supposed to have said to Miss Pike, that I got censored and Mr. Skeens over this. So I want y'all to understand the other side of the story too, because they just admitted that they made a mistake.
And I think you seen that they didn't want to discuss it here today while y'all was here. If it wasn't for Mr. Skeens saying it, there's a gentleman right back here in the back, I think he's named Danny Castor. I heard him brag on Eddie Skeens and me today. I didn't hear him brag on anybody else. Now, the deal is, how did y'all take that Jennifer Pike thing? Y'all was here when the woman got up here and spoke. Now, don't you see they're taking a double standard? And it might be what you, I hope y'all stay around later on today to see what they do on these taxes. And y'all see my sign right there in front of me. It says less taxes. And they try to get me to take that down, but I won't do it because that's what I run on, okay? I run for the people. That's it.
That's right.
I've said enough. Thank you.
And then, I was looking down through our list. I don't see anything else that needs an immediate action or reconsideration.
I did have a couple of things. Mr. Kessler asked a question about animal litter control. The officer's driving home. He wasn't sure where they lived. Where do they live?
Stacy lives in Bluffville, in the county within 10 minutes. And Jake lives in Kingsport, on this side of Kingsport, and can be in the county in just a few minutes. But much closer to the county seat than a lot of parts of Scott County would be.
The other thing on the data center Ms. Hurd brought up, I think he questioned the taxes being paid, the $5,000. Is that, I know we don't really have a lot of detail about that, but does that sound like a reasonable amount of money that they would be?
According to Ms. Hurd's comment, that was for another building down there. That wasn't even the actual data center building. So I think that would be something that we would need to bring up with Ms. Tiller's office and Commissioner to make sure. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, I actually FOIA'd that information from Kevin, if you all want it. I do have it.
Okay.
How much they did pay in taxes this year.
Now, was that just on the one property or both? Or?
It was supposed to have been on both properties, but the bigger building is not taxed. The smaller dilapidated building is, but
So,
not the big fancy building.
we don't have exemptions for data centers now.
We don't have exemptions for any.
Generators are being taxed, none of them being taxed.
Gary.
Mr. Chairman, back in the old days, I got rubbed over the coals by the board of supervisors that I didn't tax that thing. And it's where the HMG or Poston Valley puts all their storage, whatever it is down there. I went down there and went through the building, I taxed it, and that big generator back there in the back, it wasn't being taxed either. Somehow it slipped through. But seemed like I put that generator on, I called Caterpillar and they said they wouldn't give me
They're about
they wouldn't give me the assessed value of it, so I put it on at 200,000 or maybe 250,000, and they never said a word. So they should be being taxed more than $5,000. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't have a clue, but anyway, what she's talking about, I taxed.
Okay.
And another thing while I'm up here, these people that paid their taxes back in December, y'all raised up the due date on personal property. I forgot it, I meant to bring it up, but 5 minutes ain't long enough to me, but, what are you gonna do about these people when they find out they paid too much on their personal property because it was assessed at retail instead of at loan bank? What are you gonna do about that? Well, anyway, I've said enough.
Those are all issues we'll bring up with Ms. Tiller. Thank you, Gary.
Next item, Mr. Tice asked about reclassifying secondary roads into primary. Does anybody have any comments on that, or is that possible? Or
I mean, at first blush, It does, I don't think that would be possible by us as the Board of Supervisors. I think the state VDOT probably sets that, but we can ask. I mean, it never hurts to
Another
ask.
thing, real rustic, with that, there's very little construction other than paving what's there. And I'm thinking with primary, it's gonna require right-of-ways and widening the roads and different. But anyway, I think we need to look at it. Carter Fall came up with Mr. Dockery. I think there's a little misunderstanding maybe with his numbers, but my understanding is over 3 years, 20,000 a year, total 60,000. How that came about, they asked supervisors to weigh in on it and evaluate it. We asked for financial statements from Carter Fall since it's a nonprofit. The next meeting we had, they said, well, you're no longer involved, supervisors who represent the county. It's now the EDA decision, and they decided to pay $20,000 a year for 3 years. So is that kind of the way?
This board didn't.
We took no action. It was taken out of our hands. We were trying to pursue it, and it was taken out of our hands.
Seems to me like y'all need to control the EDA better. Somebody needs to control whoever the boss is or whatever. Somebody needs to do something about it. I'm telling you, they need to be moved, terminated, or something in this county.
What else you got?
That's all right.
Just to go back to the data centers, there's a ordinance maybe 4 or 5 years ago where the county is in the Lonesome Pine Regional, the RIPA Regional, and where they joined to have a lower tax rate for data centers to try to attract them here. I don't know what that amount is. I don't have that in my head, but that there is that ordinance for new ones.
Okay.
That wouldn't affect this one.
Okay.
That we already have.
So that would be a RIFA discussion too, if we were to adjust anything on the tax rate.
Yeah.
There's just one other thing, Mr. Kern, he's not here anymore, but he had talked about trash pickup. I believe he's probably talking about within the town of Weber City.
And the town of Weber City did vote to end their trash.
Correct.
We haven't never been involved in that, have we?
No, household waste pickup, we did a study one time, it's extremely expensive.
I think that covers everything that was said today. Thank you all for your comments. We appreciate that. Moving on to unfinished business. Cove Creek still here. Come on up.
Have you got any rock moved out of the creek yet?
Not the first scrub. I have got 3 permits filled out and turned in. Of course, they've only been in about a month now, and you know how government works. I haven't heard anything back from them.
I don't think it does.
They said they would try to get back in 45 days. Was their comment when I first started with them. But I do have 3 permits finished and turned in, and for that amount of work on the creek, there will be at least 3 more permits I have to fill out and turn in. So that's where we're at on trying to get the creek cleaned out. Slow go.
Don't give up.
Is there anything besides pestering these people to death that we can help you with?
Not unless you can fire up the Department of Environmental Quality and get them going a little faster, but
We can reach out and see what they'll say.
well, I don't understand the process completely yet, because I have to fill out the permit and turn it into the Army Corps of Engineers. Well, the Army Corps of Engineers then turns it over to the DEQ. And I'm unclear as to where the approval for the permit comes from. I'm leaning now it comes from the Department of Environmental Quality, but it has to be through the Army Corps of Engineers. So, And that's like the website. It has different degrees on your permit when you turn them in. And right now, my 3 permits say completed. I don't know if that means, I think it's just that I've completed the permit, turned it in, and it's not approved yet. But I'm not for sure, so. A lot of red tape to wade through.
But any way we can help you, well, let us know.
I appreciate that.
Do you have an overall good feeling about this, that it's gonna happen?
60-40.
Leaning which way?
Approval.
Okay.
Because the 2 gentlemen came and went over the creek with us, like I said. Don't understand it all, but we walked the entire length of the creek there. We were talking about cleaning out. They said, hey, you don't need a permit here. Get in there and clean it out. To join it, you need a permit here. Same deal, same section of creek. Don't need a permit here, need one here. Don't understand all that, but when they told me I didn't need a permit for part of it, that was encouraging. To get in there and do it. So that made me feel like, hey, if I fill out the permit, turn it in, they're gonna approve it. Because if they clean this section out and the adjoining section needs cleaning out.
Yeah.
But there you go again, common sense, and you know how that.
Ain't so common anymore, is it?
Maybe you just need to forget which section that needed to permit and which one didn't. And get in there and clean it.
There's one way to handle it with a Dan.
Has everything been okay with all the rain that we've been getting here
Oh,
recently?
yeah.
Okay.
Done well.
All right. Just checking.
I'll keep you updated next month, I guess.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate your tenacity on this.
Thanks,
Great.
Mr. Fields.
All right, moving on to new business. Ms. Kimberly Knapp.
15 minutes. I like to get out about once a year, more if I'm invited, just to let you know what we're doing at PD1 in partnership with FEMA. So, like I said, I won't take up much of your time. I do want to thank you, Scott County, for your continued support in what we do. Everyone should have an annual report. Usually I go through this and point out some stories and some services, but I'm not going to do that this year. We're just going to focus on pages 8 and 9, and then I'm going to tell you about some big projects and where we're at on that. So first of all, if you look at page 7, or page 8, I'm sorry, you can see that all the 4 localities, which are Scott County, Lee County, Wise County, and the city of Norton, local funding for fiscal year 25 was $991,995. That's about 5% of our total revenue. And for that 5%, you can see what you get on page 8. You get all these services listed, and I took a moment and I added them all up, and that's over 100,000 hours of services that were provided to the people in our communities, with the #1 service being mental health case management. And you can also see there that 4,797 individuals were served, and most of those were between the ages of 18 and 64. But in addition to that, our prevention team, and they go out and hold events in all 4 localities, they had 48 community-based events that reached another 5,325 community members. So that's just great. That's a large number of people we're being able to get information to and help in other ways. And we're only able to do that with our great team members, and I wanted to let y'all know that right now in Virginia, we're almost fully staffed, but we have 294 team members. So I do ask you to go ahead and look at this, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few things, because I know budgets are tight this year everywhere, and we're mandated by the Code of Virginia to ask for a matching 10% based on certain state dollars that we get. And over the past 5 years, some years those asks have been more than other years. So I wanted to come in and let you know where those projects are and what they're doing for the communities. So first of all, I want to talk about the Crisis Receiving Center, or the CRC, and that was funded in fiscal year 22. And these services are located, we put them in the same building as the Crisis Intervention Therapeutic Assessment Center, or the CTAC Center, and that's on Hawthorne Drive in Norton. It is open to all 4 localities, and all 4 localities have used it. But basically what it is you can be referred there, or you can walk in. It's a walk-in crisis center is what it is. Either way you get there, you're going to be assessed by a team, and it's open 24 hours a day. So if someone's having some issues, mental health issues, SUD issues on Christmas Day, they're open and you can walk in and you're going to get the same level of care that you get every other day of the year. And the services provided are anything from evaluation to possibly placement. It can be as simple as clean clothes and a shower. That is so helpful to some people, all the way up to placement. We also have community-based services like mobile crisis that we can wrap around with them, as well as the ACT program. And the ACT program is on page 1 in here if y'all wanted to look at that at some time. But what this service does is it allows individuals a safe place to go. Prior to this service, they would go to the emergency rooms. And so then officers would have to sit with them at the emergency rooms. So that would take up officer time and make a longer time for people with medical emergencies to be seen. So what this does is and the officers can come drop them off and get back out on the streets and go back to patrolling. So it has saved, since the beginning of CTAC, which is a few years before CRC, a total of 7,235 hours of custody time for all 4 localities. But since the CRC is open, there's been a total of 566 people who have been held, and each quarter we're seeing those numbers increase. So it's a very good service. Any questions on that one? Okay, and the other big project was in fiscal year 25, and it's permanent supported housing. So that was another big ask that we had. And that one, the state got us the money before they got us all the guidelines, so it took a little while to get that up and going. But it is now up and going, and we are taking referrals. And last Wednesday, we at PD1 had our board meeting, and we're updated that there were 3 referrals in the process. So I called before I came today, and 2 of those referrals have been accepted, and we're currently locating housing for them. So what this housing is we support individuals by letting them secure affordable housing that will assist them with the opportunity to live in the community and get a job and all that stuff, and be contributing members in the community of their choice. But along with we don't just find them a house and leave them. We walk with them. We help them to reach goals, such as personal outcomes or personal development skills, making a budget, finding transportation so they can get to medical appointments or to the grocery store and things like that. Getting linked with the community to know where the hospitals are, where the doctor's offices are, where public transportation is, and things like that. So we walk with them so that they can grow in the community and be successful. So, any questions on that one? Okay, and then finally, I just want to take a few minutes because we've had a coordinated effort with all the localities with the opioid abatement money. And we funded a couple of projects. The first one was the Substance Use Disorder Intensive Outpatient Program for adolescents who are either at risk of using or abusing illicit drugs. This is located in Big Stone Gap. Getting close to its 2nd year of service, and they've had 4 graduates, 5 enrolled, and 6 are in the various stages of the referral process. So it's going very well. Students who are there, they don't lose school time. We have a certified teacher on site, and so all the different school systems send the work in, so they don't get behind academically while they're receiving the treatment that they need. And then the second project we have is the recovery residence, and it's located up in Duffield. After many setbacks and delays with renovations and stuff, it is open. It opened in January, and currently has 4 males. And this is for males who have substance use issues, and we're trying to transition them back into the community, help them get jobs, help them get all their appointments set up, make sure they keep their appointments, allowing them to do community service so that they can go out into the community and help everyone, and then see that it's a good transition. So, any questions? All right, again, I just want to thank you all for your continued support, and I don't have to just come once a year, I can come anytime.
Thank you for coming too. There's a lot going on in the region, so we appreciate all we do.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Let's get started back into this. The next item is Virginia Department of Transportation Smart Scale Project, resolution of support. This is for the intersection off of 23 at Natural Tunnel Turnoff, right?
Correct. Yeah, as I said before, this was the project, I know, applied for this before the last round, and it did not get funded. However, VDOT this was the recommended project for this go around, and they feel very good about its chances to get funded this time. So you do have the resolution in your packets. This just needs to be attached to our final application. There's a pre-application process and a final application. So our pre-application's been done, but.
Okay. All right, well, I'll make a motion that we give them a resolution of support for the intersection off of 23 at the Natural Tunnel Turnoff. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Jeter seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next is the audit engagement letter.
I believe that was also attached into your all.
Hang on a second before we go on.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see some kind of print to see how you're going to get a tractor trailer out of there and get up there before that goes on, then getting across the road, because it's a tractor trailer parked right from the Redstone right there, and he'd have to go all the way to Duffield and get headed back, go out and
I think they're just moving from what they last showed, and I'll get them to send you something, or you can call them too. They showed that they were moving the intersection around, not necessarily eliminating a direction to get in.
Yeah, they're just looking
they're
to
just gonna
improve
move
that
it back
side.
uphill, because you could move it another 30, 40 feet back up there.
And it'd give you more visibility in there.
Okay, now I've always took it that they was gonna take it and take it top the hill and then have a medium strip, and it's gonna block the whole road.
I think that was one of their original plans, but it didn't. That one didn't fly with everybody because of the reasons you're mentioning. And I think they reworked that a little and just moved the intersection up, like you say, probably on the other side of the Natural Tunnel side. They'll have to move.
Yeah, it's up there, and didn't give it enough distance to get a rank down it, is what I've said.
Yep.
And then, you mentioned Mr. Sumter at that same time changing clinch board.
Yeah, they're the one for Clinchport is a little bit harder to get
You
done.
got that rock cliff.
Yeah, so this is one we think we can get them to get the funding for. It's one of those situations where we take what we can get, and if we can get an improvement out there, I think that's a win for us all. And everybody going down Clinchport, most of those folks are local folks, but everybody turning down National Tunnel a lot of those are visitors, and they might not be aware of the issues with that intersection, or, you know, how traffic is through there, so it makes it safer for
It's
them.
dangerous because when you come across there,
I dread pulling out every
with a
time.
tractor and trailer, and you know that once you're coming off of that hill,
Yeah.
and you just hope that you get enough speed
Yeah.
before you get busted.
Yep.
Now,
All right.
thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Audit engagement letter. I'm sorry. We got.
Yes, that was attached also in your all's packets. I believe it, same as last year. We are, Ms. Kegley can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we're still under agreement with them to do our audit. This is just something that we need to get back to them.
All right. Yeah. All right. Do I have a motion for the audit engagement letter?
So moved.
Mr. makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second
Ms. Glover seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion carries. All right. Bristol Regional Improvement Commission resolution.
Yes, so this resolution, again, in your packets, is just directing how those funds will be allocated in the next budget year. This is something that I need to take back to the commission to show them. So as it stands right now in our budget, of course our budget's not finalized, but there's budgeted for $1 million, $600,000 of that to go to emergency services, and the $400,000 to education. I think I split it up into percentages, but 60-40.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Do I? Okay, Ms. Glover makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Addington seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, enterprise zone incentives. Sorry.
I believe Mr. Kilgore was going to present on this.
Okay.
Do we have the letter? Go get it. And just so everybody knows, we do have, I believe it was $160,000 budgeted this current year for enterprise zone.
Good morning, board. And yes, I sent this letter, and it was approved by the EDA that the enterprise zone administrator, and of course that was approved by DHCD back in the day, and then the incentives for two companies that have expanded in the enterprise zone, one being Temper Sealy as a result of their 2021 expansion, and then also VFP as a result of their 2021 expansion as well. Temper first, they have qualified for a machine and tool tax grant and a real estate tax grant of 80% by averaging over 2 times the minimum wage rate, which is required under the table that was approved earlier on. So basically what we do is we verify that, one, that they have the average, what their average hourly wage is, also that they paid their taxes. We verify all that, and then this is as a result of that expansion. So their tax grant related to their expansion would be $98,710.40. That's Tempers. And then as a result of the 2021 expansion for VFP, their real estate tax grant is 60% for tax year 2025 by averaging over 1.5 times the minimum wage rate. And their tax grant related to their expansion would be at $37,425.44. So again, Temper Sealy in an amount of $96,710.40, and VFP in the amount of $37,425.44.
And John, just for everybody, so we all understand everything, these incentives are tied to what?
Yes, they are tied to in employment and their investment in equipment and, of course, real estate tax, yes.
Do they expire? Do they have any term that they expire?
Yeah, they expire. So basically what you're looking at is Temper is at 80% now. They're in year 3. So that would expire in 5 more years, providing they stay at that minimum wage that they are now. And then VFP is at 60% rebate on the total they pay. So that they're also in year 3, and theirs would expire in 4 more years. But now 2025 expansion VFP will come back on with another expansion. So they keep those separate for us.
And there's an opportunity for them to move up in the ladder of, like, you know, instead of 1.5 times the minimum wage, they could move up to 2 times the minimum wage.
They could go to 2.5 times too. We've actually had, back when the minimum wage was $7.25, we had both Temper and VFP was tracking at 2.5 times. But when the minimum wage went up, now they're at you know, one's 2 times and one's 1.5 times.
I just wanted to make sure that was clear, so
yes,
we know what we're getting for our money.
Right.
It's a good paying job.
And this is what is used to match any incentives that the state would give on any project. So that's what the county would use to do that. So if the state's offering something, or tobacco commission, then this is how it can be matched with this money here.
I know you've gone over before about small business, but how would this apply to mom and pop that have small business? What would their basic requirements be?
They have to have a minimum job threshold, which I think tourism has 2 jobs, but they also have to have, you know, some type of investment in that as well, which I can provide you that. I don't have that chart in front of me, but I certainly can send that to you. But they can qualify too, but they have to be in the enterprise zone. The enterprise zone goes, you know, it's basically, if you think of the major routes in our county, so it's covering 23 from Duffield all the way to the state line on US 23. It also goes to Nicholasville, and then it goes over to Dungannon as well, to Fort Blackmore. So it's covering those, you know, commercial areas that are along those routes. So they have to be in the enterprise zone though, yes.
Do I have a motion to approve these enterprise zone incentives?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Junior makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Skeen seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Kevin, thank you as well, I'm sure. Thank you.
Moving right along to appointments.
We do not have any applicants for the Tourism Development Committee for Gate City or the at-large position.
Okay.
And you do not have any applicants for the Planning Commission.
So,
Did he send that back?
he told me, Mr. Shannon Stewart said he was going to send that back. So he hadn't sent that in. Yes. Could we appoint him? Because he said no. Okay. All right. I'll get on to him about that. Thank you.
You have one applicant for the Mountain Empire Community College Advisory Board, and you have 2 openings.
Okay.
Josh Wilson.
Right. And historically, our county administrator has been on that board. So we have. All right. So would anybody like to nominate?
I'll nominate Mr. President.
All right. I'll make a motion that nominations cease and we vote by acclamation. Do I have a second?
A second.
All right. All right, Ms. Addington seconds. Everybody vote in favor by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries, and we've got a lot of positions to fill. Thank you, Ms. All right. County Attorney's report. Ms. Kay.
You all have my report in your packets. I don't have anything to add at this time. There may be something during the budget workshop. if you wanna increase the elderly and disabled exemption.
Okay.
We need to do that for ordinance, but we can wait and have that discussion then.
Okay.
Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your service. County Administrator's Report, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, we'll start off with the claims. Hopefully everybody's got your green sheets there. Available cash, we have $17,056,683.47. As you can see, the school has not drawn down their money yet, but I believe it is forthcoming. We have
What's
our...
the amount today, still be charged to you right off? Well, that's okay if you don't know.
Yeah, I've got it. Of course, this is different. That'll be part of a budget amendment because there'll be extra. Let's see, what we are estimating with, that would be net remaining funding would be, I'm gonna have to increase that, $8,943,594. Our early set, let's see, claims for the month, $613,030.26. Total claims, $685,223.92. Mr. Chairman, I just need a motion to pay the bills.
All right, do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
All right, Ms. Glover makes the motion to pay the bills. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Second and seconds. Everybody can vote in favor by way of saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
Okay, miscellaneous, they start off, I think everybody at their seat had a quarterly report from Extension Office Mr. Gerald had sent. Hope you get a chance, just take a look at that. Any questions, let him know.
If anybody ain't been over to look at the building, they need to go look, it's really nice.
Yes, and I think the only thing not hooked up is the ice maker and refrigerator, but everything else is in now, so that's exciting. Continuing to help on the VA 250 event here in Scott County. Planning that, making sure on the emergency services side that we have everything coordinated and squared away. Of course, numerous meetings with the school division, kind of working on budget stuff. And I guess maybe that's just better. We'll touch on that. Mr. Skeen had directed a question to me coming out of the Leno-Wisco board meeting about carryover funds from schools. I did reach out to the surrounding counties. I heard back from Dickinson County and Lee County. The way they handle it, so I believe, and Ms. Kegley can correct me if I'm wrong, but this board would need to direct or allow the school to carry over funds. Without any direction, the textbooks is the only thing that they can carry over, I believe, without board approval, is my understanding. Dickinson County, for the longest time, I think, did only do textbooks. I mean, they didn't have any direction allowing carryover. They did change that a number of years ago. From what I've heard from them and their administrator, Mr. Barton, they average about $1.5 to $2 million carryover every year. And what they do with that is they put that away basically into a reserve fund. For, just emergencies or anything that may arise for the school. So it gets what happens is at the end of the year, they get a letter from the school board saying, we've got X amount of unspent local funds. Please reappropriate those to the next budget year. And that's how they do that. Now, that doesn't reduce in any way the county's obligation or whatever they contribute to the school that next budget year. That's just money that's put away into reserves. Similar situation in Lee County as far as how they handle their unspent local funds. They have a capital projects fund that they then put that away. And I believe both of them put that into like an interest earning account. So as long as the school doesn't need those funds, the county collects interest off of it. So it does benefit the county in that way to encourage the school divisions to have unspent funds. But it's still money that they can use if they need it. As far as in Scott County, I believe in the past there have been carryover funds, but most years it's all spent down. So I know in the last several years there's been no unspent funds, so that's why there's been no request for reappropriation. I did reach out to City of Norton and Wise County too, but I didn't hear back from them.
And we would have to authorize each year, or is there just a blanket policy on the?
I would imagine you could just have a policy that would cover it, kind of an encouragement. I'd have to look into that more.
What would be the disadvantages of doing that?
Well, I don't think there would be necessarily any disadvantages. I mean, they're going to spend it if they need to spend it, right? So if there would be unspent funds, you know, that would, you know, that we could hold on to and earn interest off of, it'd still be their money to use. I mean, we can't offset any budgetary requirements with that.
So when they come to us with the ask, they wouldn't be able to offset that ask with any funds that were carried over.
Right, I mean, there's requirements from the state to match those programs.
Gotcha.
If this board chooses to fund the non-SOQ, but of course the required matches for SOQ still stand, so we would have to.
And that's a state level law.
Correct. Right.
It looks like the state would let us, you know, if there was unused funds, the state would let them use that year over year.
Yeah, and there's some, I don't know all the ins and outs on Lee County. There's some state funds evidently that they were, I don't know on that. I just know what the local funds, you know, from what I've seen, my thought process is any federal and state funds that's unspent would go back to the federal and state levels, but just the same as, you know, if there's unspent local funds, it would stay with the local level. But, you know, of course, if the county were to, you know, well, I mean, you're required to, what you're required to match, but, you know, so it would just be reappropriating those funds the next year.
Mr. Bricky, you've worked in, I think, the Lee County system as an interim. Didn't you work as interim superintendent?
Yes, shortly.
Are you familiar with any of this as far as their budget?
No, not in Lee County, I'm not.
So, unless there's any other questions, I'll move on. Of course, I think everybody knows it's definitely twins were expected to be born in May, not on May 9th. So, but they are doing good. Sleep has been cut down drastically, but they're home doing good. So I want to appreciate, you know, definitely appreciate everybody's support and stuff through that time. Did attend, of course, the Bristol Regional Improvement Commission meeting, which is the casino funds. I was elected to serve as secretary for that commission, and it was a good meeting. Of course, that was kind of all of our task was to gather those resolutions that way. Be ready to ready to go for the new budget year. Did attend Carter's Fort Chapter DAR 40th anniversary. It was a great event. Of course, they do a lot in the county, and just a great organization overall. Miss Robertson and Mr. Arrington and I went on WJHL to promote the VA 250 event. We're hopeful that we'll be able to go on. I think we do have something scheduled with WCYB. So again, make sure that you support that. There's all kinds of good things going on across the county to celebrate the anniversary. Attended the Lonesome Pine RIFA meeting, which was also, as always, a really good, meeting. Mr. Wampler and Mr. Miller will be attending our July meeting to talk a little bit more about what the RIF has been up to, and we'll have a slew of resolutions. We're getting close to at least seeing some of that revenue sharing from RIFA projects. So they'll fill us in next month on all that. I did attend the Weber City Town Council meeting. They had presented what had been done, I guess, with their committee, talking with the sheriff's office about law enforcement contract, or the possibility of a contract with them. And that's pretty much what I know. It's just what was said in that meeting. So I think maybe negotiations or talks are ongoing with that, with the sheriff's office. So we'll stay tuned on that. Attended the governor's economic development input session. It's really good. A lot of folks from a lot of different sectors kind of gathered around. They had it set up in Abingdon, a lot of different kind of a roundtable discussion. They had different topics, brainstorming sessions, put on the boards, and hopefully the governor will take a lot of those ideas and thoughts and comments into consideration when she does come up with her economic development plan. I believe that'll be slated to come out in the fall. So we'll stay tuned. The very next day after that, attended the Southwest Virginia Economic Forum at UVA Wise. Chairman Manus also attended. That was a great session. A lot of great information, good speakers. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to touch on that.
I'm trying to get the slides from the first speaker. Weinstein was her name. I'm trying to get the slides from that talk. I think that would be very eye-opening for everybody.
Shared a lot of data about rural America, and then also specifically Southwest Virginia, and how we stand on a lot of different things. So.
Yeah, there's some metrics that we as a region are falling behind on, and I think we can nudge things in the right direction.
Of course, attended. There was 2 EDA meetings since we last met. Attended both of those. I guess more to come on that later today. Did get word from VDOT that the bridge naming was approved here in Gate City for Ford Quillen. So they're just, they said it takes some time to get those signs made and everything, but that's good news that is still moving forward. I believe that's all I've got.
I did have a couple of things that you were going to follow up on. The CSX letter about the railroad crossings.
So I have not sent a letter yet. I wanted to get a better understanding, and Ms. Kegley and Mr. Dingus and I did go out there and talk to Mr. Perry yesterday and looked that over. Definitely, reason for concern. Right now he does have access just through friendly neighbors. So you never know, property changes hands, what might happen there. But we'll be following up with Congressman Griffith's office. I think it's a good route to go there. We let him know to either call or come by. They're holding, of course, their local office hours. I believe it's next Wednesday morning here. So it's a good time, of course, for anybody that has anything that they want to talk about to come by and let them know. But yes, I will certainly stay on that, on the railroad issue. It was in there for, you know, of course, a long time ago, and then taken out for whatever reason. But we'll stay on that. That was a really good visit.
I'm sorry. The other thing, I had made a request that you contact our county employees about communication and follow-up with citizens that called in.
Well, I mean, I think specifically we were talking about animal odor control, which they've certainly been doing a really good job, in my opinion. I think there was a little highlight, real world. Mr. Jeter had called in or emailed that there was some kittens let loose at the Yuma site, and the cameras were utilized to be able to catch the person. So charges are pending on that.
There's 11 of them dropped off in cat carriers, kitties.
They just left them in the cat carrier?
Yeah, they just left them sitting there. But they, Jake and them, I seen Bill, I seen the pictures and they got who done it, and Jake and them called me and told me they went and checked with the guys. So there's probably charges pending there.
Yeah, there are. And then, yeah, one other thing while we're catching up from, I can send it off to you, but I did send a letter to the Department of Education. Of course, I know I touched on it in our last I guess it was our last workshop. We've had several about how the ADM is actually calculated, but I did send a letter to the Department of Education. I haven't heard back, but I asked for their detailed formula procedures on how they determine the ADM for the school divisions, how the enrollment data is collected and verified, any reconciliation or audit procedures that they do to make sure that that's all done properly, and then any guidance they would have on us, or for us, you know, on better understanding or moving forward, or anything that could be doing better. So we'll see.
Do you have any feel for why that number was much higher this year?
I don't. I really don't. You know, I think feeling is that the ADM for next year is probably high.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
compared to what we're gonna finish at. But, you know, again, like any of our budget numbers, it's a best guess. You know, I think to be safe, that ADM number is certainly best thing we have to go off of. Some years, yeah, it'll be higher, some years it'll be lower. Last year it was lower, this year is higher. If I had to make an estimate, next year will be lower, so, but you just never know.
Yeah, a little transparency into that process would be nice.
Right.
Just so we could, you know, check.
Right, because I know, you know, school division sends in, of course, they have to send in their enrollment numbers to the state. And so just how they, I guess, utilize those would be nice to know. We'll see.
Is that all for you?
That's all for me.
All right, Mr. France. Moving right along to the county department.
Hey everyone, know you've had a busy day and will continue to have a busy day, so as usual I'll try and be short and sweet with hopefully all good news for anything. I'll start the Parks and Rec side. We're getting ready to start our summer tennis and junior golf programs. That start next week. Already had a large number of signups. We got over 30 kids for tennis and over 25 for golf. That's a huge number for golf. And those numbers will increase. There's a lot of people that come the day of and sign up, and that's fine. We work with them on that. So that's always a busy season, but a fun season for me. Believe it or not, I get a better tan than I've got now because I'm out in the sun all day for it. But I do want to, I don't have this on here, but it's something I want to mention. I want to thank the football coaching staff at Twin Springs High School, Kenya Burke, Abel Dingus especially. Yesterday, they went out to Keith Memorial Park and did a beautification project, mulch, flowers. I don't, because they just did it yesterday. I can get you some.
There's pictures on the Twin Springs football Facebook page.
She sent them to me.
You did see them? Okay. They did a great job. I did help them out with some plants, but they were able to secure mulch, I believe, from Lowe's, donated, and the whole football team went out there, weeded it, mulched, flowers. He said it looks great out there. So I really want to thank them. You know, that was something they reached out to me with. You know, that's always good to see. And they were excited to do it. I was like, I'm more excited for y'all to do it. You know, they were like, oh man, thanks for letting us do this. I'm like, you don't understand. You're helping us. So they're to be thanked for that. That was you know, they got Nicholsville Day coming up, so that part's gonna look great for that. I'll hop down here to the golf course side. Again, I want to thank some people. I know you've heard me talk, the public maybe hasn't. In March and April, we got some unseasonably warm, dry weather. And at the time, our water tank was still under repair. We were still figuring that out, and we needed water bad on our greens. Sean Grizzle and the Dungan Volunteer Fire Department, they came up and helped us get water on those greens. Bruce Cross of Weber City, you know Bruce, he's great. Before I even got the sentence out, he was, yeah, take that, go do what you need to do. I couldn't even get out what I needed to get done. He said, I'll help you out, man, whatever you need to do. So I want to thank Dungan and Weber City Volunteer Fire Departments. Really, without them, we probably were in danger of losing our greens. If we hadn't got water on them, it would have been a big challenge. So really want to thank them. They helped us out tremendously. The room rentals, I know we talk about that. They're probably as high or higher than ever. Probably more than I can remember since I've been here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday rentals. I mean, we're having 3-day rentals a lot. So it's being utilized a lot. Golf course, of course, it remains busier than ever, and I'll talk about that a little bit too. We have the Big Blue Boosters Tournament this weekend. At the end of the month, on June 26th, is the Sheriff's Department tournament, and we just got done having in May 4 tournaments. 2 of them were ours, 2 of them were fundraiser tournaments for Twin Springs and the East Side. But we are busier than ever, and right now, as of today, we're at a 16% increase over last year's revenue. Last year's total revenue, as far as I know, was our highest ever. And as of today, we're about $1,000 less than that. We still have the whole month of June. So I hate to put too many projections on things because the weather can change and change things drastically. But it wouldn't shock me if we go over 150 this year for revenue, which would be by far our highest revenue. So we continue to stay slammed busy. Lots of new players, lots of young players, lots of players from outside the area. We've got members that have joined up there that live pretty far away, but they love coming up there for the course is in great shape. I got to brag on the staff. We finally got some much needed rain. Before our 3-man tournament, it was a Wednesday, and I would never look and think, man, it looks like August out there. And then we got some rain, and I want to thank Scott Gerald. Some of the stuff we do, some of the products we use, some of the fertilizer we use, it perked it right up. The course looks great right now. I actually mowed fairways yesterday, and I was noticing like it looks fantastic right now. So it's always a team effort from everybody. Like I said, Scott, Weber City Fire Department, Dungan, Twin Springs. I've always got to brag on Scott's service. They help us in a lot of ways. They actually went out today out there to Keith Park to mow. They help us get ready for tournaments. So Scott's service is always a huge help for us. And then just to kind of finish up, I'll do some research and kind of bring it before you all in October when I come. Obviously it's at your discretion, but I think it's probably time we look at some price increases on some things. Not trying to gouge anybody, not trying to get them while we're busy, but more aligning with the industry around us. The courses around us, their prices, obviously budget increases, things cost more. We want to remain competitive, but we want to remain competitive both ways. It obviously would be up to you all, but I do think there's some minor price increases we could do there that, and it's warranted, that would not have pushback because people understand the product's worth it. So, and that would help in the future. But again, I want to make sure I tell everybody that's not a greedy thing. It's looking at what other people are charging and thinking, well, we probably need to be, closer to that number. So I will have some figures and numbers for you to compare and look at for the October meeting. So other than that, that's all I've got. Y'all have any questions? Things are going good. We're busy, but busy's good for us. So.
I did have one.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about the potholes.
Yes, sir.
Things are being checked into now for that.
Yes.
But I would just recommend anytime you have potholes, bring it to somebody's attention.
Okay.
Because that can be fixed. So we don't need to leave a bad impression on first timers, especially.
Right. Yeah. What Mr. Skeens was referring to, the road up there to the golf, you got Golf Course Road and Ford Drive, Fore, swing 4. I like to tell people that about order stuff, but we've had pothole issues in the past, but they've gotten fixed, and usually got fixed pretty quickly, sometimes without a call, sometimes with a quick call. But right now we're looking into, there's some confusion a little bit. Is it city, is it VDOT, is it both, is it, did somebody patch it one day when they had a chance? But there are some potholes there that we do need to get addressed. But I've been in contact with, of course, Mr. Skeens some, and also Mr. Jones with Gate City, and we're trying to get that worked out. There's really just one bad one as you get to the top of the hill, so. But no, I agree. Yeah, it might be somebody's first time, like you said. That's how we do try to keep that course. And a lot of people will brag on us and say, y'all always have this course in really good shape, and you don't let stuff get too high. Well, we always think it could be somebody's first time. That could be somebody that comes and leaves and never comes back, or somebody comes and says, you know what, man, I want to join there. That place looks great. Those guys are great. And another thing I'll brag on my staff, and I'm not trying to top down on the golf course industry at all when I say this, but there is a stereotype out there that pro shops and sometimes people that work in golf courses are grumpy or not the nicest. If you look at some of our Google reviews and Facebook reviews, you'll see a pretty common theme of people saying, hey, the guys are always so nice, so welcoming. It's unlike other courses where they actually want us to be there. We do try to be very much like a family atmosphere. We try to remember your name, find out who you are, talk to you about stuff, and even that goes a long, long way. When you remember somebody, remember their name, it kind of sometimes they look like, you knew who I was. I'm like, well, yeah, we talked to you that first time you came. We knew you were from here or here, and that's how you kind of welcome them. So I do want to brag on the staff. You'll see that on the reviews. That's a common thing. People talk about how courteous, welcoming, and just nice and kind the staff is. So I'll always brag on my staff. They work really, really hard. So. Appreciate you all. Thank you for everything. Yes, sir.
Question.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna keep them golf courses open later this summer or not?
Kind of, with the staff we have currently, I really can't justify it. I mean, they're already working, I want to say they're probably average 55 to 60 hours a week right now with 4 guys, and that's 7 days a week, holidays. I mean, and that's everything. That's pro shop, maintenance, mowing, chemicals. That's 4 for everything. I just can't justify it with the staff we have now. That would be asking way too much of them.
One thing that some of the courses do, for volunteers,
yes,
they give them free play during off times.
We do have a couple volunteers. We don't really have enough or a consistent volunteer that's going to stay all the time. There are times that volunteers say, hey, we can come up and stay a little later, or we'll close up. And that's on a very much a day-to-day, case-by-case. We don't really have a consistent week, every single day that I could say, oh yeah, we'll be open later. And I could be wrong with this. I don't know that during the week, staying open an hour later or whatever we're discussing, I don't know that's going to capture enough revenue. During the week, you're only going to get, there is a max limit to what you're going to get because people work. Weekends we can't get any busier. There's no possible way to get busier. We run out of carts at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. People are waiting on carts. during the week, like I said, with the staff we have, it's just in good conscience managing them. I can't ask them to stay longer. I mean, you're looking at 13, 14-hour days already sometimes. I know on Tuesdays when we have the golf league, the employee that stays there, he works, it's usually a 13 or 14-hour day on Tuesday nights. And then, you know, weekends, they're working 12, 13 hours through the summer on a Saturday and Sunday. That's one person, so. If that's something we need to revisit, I think we really got to look at a part-time seasonal one.
I think a lot of courses do have the volunteer group that they can depend upon.
Yeah.
Usually seniors or
Yeah.
retirees.
And we have a lot, I don't want to say they're not, we have a lot of help, it's just we haven't found, like I said, that consistent, oh yeah, I'll do Monday through Thursday every night, you know. We haven't been able to find that.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other comment? Thank you, Greg.
Appreciate you all for everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving along to Board of Supervisors, comments, requests, and recommendations. I've already said my comments about the Southwest Virginia Economic Development Forum. That was a great forum. I'm trying to get you on the slides for that, because I think some of the data that they showed about where Southwest Virginia ranks among other rural areas is concerning. But it also shows areas that we can improve in, and we can kind of move our strategy towards. So I think that's a good place to start.
I do have some comments unless someone else wants to speak.
Sure.
Of course, Mr. Prince mentioned Nicholsville Days. That's coming up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it seems like it's getting bigger every year. So they've done a lot of planning with that. At our last meeting, we discussed the Small Business Appreciation Month, and I had one person in contact that was mentioned. He got a call within a couple of days, the builder there in Nicholsville, somebody needing work, so that does help to get some coverage. And just wanted to mention Clinch River on tourism. A lot's going on with Clinch River. Mr. Castile and I had the opportunity to go to an event following our last, one of our last meetings, I think budget meeting. Some others were invited, but due to the timing, it didn't work out. But they had people there from Richmond, the state park people. They probably had 20 or 30 people. They did a float on the Clinch, and it's really an interesting group. The Clinch River State Park continues to develop. I've met with Mr. Bridwell, Chuck Bridwell, that owns a business here in Gate City and also in Abington. He's redoing the campground over at Dungannon, and I met with him and the water and sewer engineers. So that is progressing. He's doing a total makeover with pull-through campsites, all modern hookups and bathhouse, and it's handicap friendly, and there'll be a boat ramp access for guests. And the people might not know where it is. It's the old place, RV park, when they were building a power plant over in St. Paul. They bought it for that purpose, and they've sold it. Now Mr. Bridwell has it. Now Mr. Bridwell also owns property on River Bluff Road in Dungannon, and he's leased to the Clinch River Park for a launch site, and that is now open and ready for use. And I think there is a fee for some of these Clinch River sites, launch sites. They have to get a permit before being able to use it. Is that kind of how that works?
I think it's like $5 for
They need to go online, I guess, in advance. Last year, Fort Blackmore Highway 72 bridge launch and parking area upgrades were completed, much improved. The purpose is trying to get shorter distances between floats. And I've been working with Nature's Conservancy, Nick Proctor, Mr. Dingus, and the EDA to develop a launch site in the Hill City or Hill Station area. And that's now being, the acquisition's taking place, surveys are being completed, so that does continue. Also, the DWR improvements at Spears Ferry Bridge on Copper Creek intersection. Clinch River Campground and Anglers Way continues, And of course, Natural Tunnel is the hub for a lot of activity on the Clinch. And they're going to be getting that smart scale, it looks like. So that'll make improvements there. One thing that we've been hearing considerably is that almost every meeting, the EDA and the lack of progress within the EDA. And we're going to be talking about their proposal. We had asked for 740 to 750,000 contribution to our budget this year, which they have denied, and we'll be talking about that later. But overall, a lack of productivity, and I asked Mr. Kilgore once what has been done to develop new business in the industry the last 20 years, and he said he didn't have an answer. Mr. Frazier, when asked the same question, he's the chairman of the EDA, he said the Dollar Tree in Duffield. So this is 20 years of progress. That's why we're still struggling with our budget. One of the board members, EDA board members, said this week that we needed to look at raising taxes or cutting services. He forgot to mention the reason he's there is to develop new business and industry in Scott County, their primary function, and he failed to mention that. And I think there's no confidence on that board to do those things. So what I'm going to propose today is a vote of no confidence for the EDA board and their director, and request the resignations by those people. So I'd like to put forth that for discussion.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
I'll second
Okay. Still on the floor for discussion. I will say, for my area, I don't know, Nicholsville might not have seen as much development, but for my area, the EDA has been providing new jobs pretty consistently and fostering growth and continuing to develop the economic incentive zone, the enterprise zone. So they've been working well on our end of the county.
I do think on the back end, they have done those things. But I think their primary goal is to support the taxpayers. It seems like we're supporting them, but they're not supporting us, the taxpayers. And we hear it over and over, every meeting that keeps coming up. This goes on for 20 years of lack of productivity. So I was thinking about sports. If you had a ball team that hadn't won any games in 20 years, you would fire the coach and probably the team and start over. Not that they're not good people. I don't have anything personally against any of them, but they're not productive. And I think when you have no production, whether it's EDA or sports, then you move to a new team. And that's, I think, needs to be done.
I'd like to add a few comments to it. Like the Pioneer Center, I think there is some man here that spoke there a little earlier. How many years has the Linda Bray Farm, is what I call it, been down there, Riverview, what y'all call it? How many years has the county had that? And where have we seen anything going on there? And that was my comments with it. I know that I mentioned something a year or so ago about wanting to change the smaller lots. People could break his farm up, and we've heard it here several times today. People's moving out of here, people dying, older people, and this, that, and the other. Every time we turn around, we've got less and less people, and we're short on money all the time. I know that they want to break it down to 1/4 acre lots down there. I know ours is what, 2 or 3 acre things that then we got to come up in front of a board if we break it down less than that. Now, where's that at now? I ain't heard no comments on that in the last couple of months about changing ordinance to or down to quarter-acre lots. I ain't heard nothing about what, I think Mr. Manus said something about 1 acre with a septic. Yeah, like we could break it down to quarter-acre if you had sewage. Is that right, Mr. Manus?
There's some talk going through the planning commission. I don't have any specific recommendations.
Wasn't that what we kind of discussed a few months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd need at least 1 acre, right, to have a septic system.
Yeah, I think that's something very good.
Yeah.
I'm like you, I'm with you 100%. But, where are we at this time? Are we still at that, or we forgot about it? Kind of like,
It's still
2 years ago, I mean, the Sally Port, I heard all about that, and I think I'm the only man that voted against it, okay?
I think that
we ain't done nothing with that either. So, I mean, it seems like we talk about it, but we never get nothing done. I mean, so.
Along those lines, I think it was mentioned last meeting, there's no sales agreement on the Riverside property. And they were supposed to start building houses in May, and we don't have a sales agreement. To me, this just doesn't sound right. And the hotel, that's something that came up a couple of years ago. There's nothing going on with that. These things seem to pop up and then they go away, and it's consistent. It's not the first time on real estate. We've been through that before with DR Horton. Similar. Well, I'm not saying it's going to end the same, but similar delays.
If I may address a few things. I'll start with the planning commission. Things as far as review of the subdivision ordinance is still moving forward. I unfortunately was at the hospital with my wife and newborn babies when May's planning commission meeting would have taken place, so it did get canceled. But it is progressing. Hopefully, of course, the planning commission will have to decide what they decide, whatever they want to do on that.
Right.
But I think the idea out of the, past discussions has been, of course, if we're talking about, private road system, requiring, if it's not gonna be the VDOT spec, 2 acres, you had talked about that. If it just depends, you could go out in the county and be on well and septic, or you could be in where you can be hooked up to public utilities. Speaking of Riverside, you have proposals for quarter-acre lots. Those would be on public water and sewer. So I think, and of course they're gonna have to go through DEQ approval, soil and water, health department, and everything else, just like any law would. So, making sure that our ordinance is very conducive to development, conducive to housing. I think that's the biggest thing. And of course, us as a county isn't gonna supersede any health requirements or DEQ requirements. So, they're gonna have to still make sure that the land perks and everything. And of course, we would want to make sure that happens. What else was it I touched on? I mean, I know overall there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we don't know about for economic development. A lot of confidentiality and non-disclosures and stuff like that. So, there's a lot goes on that I don't know about. So, and of course, you all don't either.
But you'd think over 20 years, these things would develop, and they're not. That's my point.
There was something else Mr. Castile had touched on.
He went over a lot.
Housing. What was the other one? So the subdivision, and then what was the second?
I said like theirs is quarter-acre lots, and
Right.
down here that I know we lived with 2 acres at one time. It was 3 acres, and now Mr. Maggie said something, I'm like him, that I mentioned it, a year ago, or longer, that I thought we should break it down to acre lots. I think Jeter, he wanted the 2 acres, is the best of my memory. I don't think nobody wants a 2 acre lot no more, because nobody wants to mow it, nobody wants a garden, and, or nothing.
I didn't say nothing about no 2 acres,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, if we're talking about Riverside, I'm just talking about.
No,
the
no,
minimum lot
I mean, that
required.
was just what the rules that we had ourselves back, can you remember when they changed that ordinance there about 94 or 5, I'll say? No, I'm lying, probably about 2000.
Yeah, is it really 2,000?
Yeah.
and then it got changed
Then it got changed to
2000,
3 acres, I think.
2010 or something, 12
Then
or
it
something
changed
like that.
again, because I know I've asked you about it.
It's been too long, I can't remember that far.
Sallyport was the other one.
Okay, just Sallyport.
Yeah, I just, again, you know, I know Mr. Dingus had touched on that, where, of course, that had come up under Ms. Starnes, to do that project, and then, of course, there was some switch over when she left, and then Mr. Dingus was acting, and then now myself, and we've switched now, engineering firms, so that is still, of course, progressing. We're gonna have to evaluate that once we get a good handle on what that project should entail.
I remember Michelle, a couple meetings ago, could have been the last one. She wanted to pull the money back, and y'all said couldn't do it now. And you remember that, Michelle?
There's a some capital improvement fund, or capital project funds, it's $200 and some thousand, that is actually in the budget right now, yeah. And that was money set aside for some engineering fees.
Said
and
we
stuff.
couldn't get it back.
No, we did.
I'm sorry.
I suggested that we keep it
Yeah.
for the budget,
Right.
to help with the budget, so.
Discussion about DDA.
All right, so to keep this on the subject of the EDA, because we've strayed into planning commission ordinances, state of the county, everything else. We have a motion of no confidence from Mr. Skeen and a second from Mr. Castile.
And also resignations.
Yeah, there were resignations of all the board members and the EDA director. Secretary.
Ms. Kegley, could you kind of give a little background on what a no confidence vote from our board, how that would play out?
I'm not sure because it's never happened before, but you all appoint those board members. If you ask for the resignations, I would have to look into how.
Can you ask for resignations if they're voted on?
How effective that would be. Usually a resignation is, like Ms. Pike said, you know, based on some kind of malfeasance, misfeasance, not attending meetings, some.
Well, would it be better just to go with a no confidence vote and leave it at that? And then pursue this other later based on your research, the resignation?
However you want to do it. I don't,
Could
the
you
no
define no
confidence vote-
confidence?
No, it's,
Is there actually any teeth to a no confidence, I guess is what the crux of the matter is.
there could be teeth to the resignation request.
Okay.
The no confidence is just a statement of the board. No teeth to that.
So I'll amend the motion that we send a letter of no confidence and then do some further research on request for resignation and then address that later at another meeting.
And Danny, you still second that?
No, second.
You gotta remember now, it's hard to get people to sit on these boards anyway.
It is.
Nobody wants to sit on them.
That's right.
I'd rather have a vacant seat, there's no action.
Well, I'm just telling you, you've seen today, you've got these boards here, nobody wants on them, and you can't blame them.
So
Who wants the headache?
you're satisfied with our current EDA board?
Well, I can't say I'm completely satisfied, but I'm not dissatisfied. I mean, they've got a lot of competition, Eddie, that they have to go through. Pinnacle gets all these jobs and stuff. Falls gets these jobs in Bristol, out at the crossing out here. You've got a lot of competition on bringing business in, and it's hard to get business to come in. I mean, they try, but it's still hard to get people to come into a business unless you've got a lot of money to offer them. It's like Pinnacle. They give money for all these people to come in and put in businesses. We ain't got the money to put into it. Have you got the money in your budget to bring all these people in and let them set up a business? No, and the county ain't either. And it's difficult trying to get business to come in. I mean, I want every business we can get, but it's hard to get business when you ain't got the money up front to give them incentives to come in.
Well, if we don't have incentives, why have an EDA? Why have an EDA? If that's the key to getting new industry, if we don't have it, then why have an EDA? I think Ms. Horton probably could handle a lot of the workload of these, back end type of stuff. I think she does an excellent job. She would be my exception to what I've just said. But I've spoken here with many of you, and my sense is the majority of this board does not like what's going on with the EDA. And Mr. Junior, I think you're one of the ones that's expressed that. And I'm just saying, I'm speaking from what I've heard in a past history of no productivity, with the workload falling back on the taxpayers, which is why we're in this budget mess now. With them offering to loan us money after we just gave them money. And that doesn't sit well with me, but that's a different topic under budget. But,
I think the members that are on the EDA board, I know every one of them and have known them for years, and they're great people, and if they applied today to go on that board, I would still vote for them. The problem I've had with the EDA is that people ask us questions about the hotel that was brought up 2 or 3 years ago, and about Riverside. And we don't know, because I've heard since I've been on this board the last 7 years, that they have non-disclosure agreements, that they can't speak. Okay, I've lately been told that it's only John that's got a non-disclosure agreement. How does John go into his committee and talk about anything if he's got a non-disclosure agreement? I don't understand that part of it. Maybe somebody could enlighten me, but that's the way it's set up. The people that are on the board, as far as asking for resignation of the board and the director, I think we should talk to them individually or to John and give them a chance to defend themselves first of all. But I have not liked the thing about not knowing what's going on with anything. This board does not know. The public thinks that we can do anything we want to out in the county, and we can't. The school board and the EDA is the most independent boards in Scott County. We're not that independent. We are transparent. We try to put everything out to the public. You never hear anything from the other two. So I think we need to at least talk to them, let them know what we've discussed today, and then make some decisions on it.
I will say, if you would have attended the last EDA meeting, not the one this past Monday, but the one in the prior week, John kind of went over some of the grant money that he has brought in with their budget, and I did some calculations on it. And from what I saw, and what I figured up, is about $1.70 in grants for every $1 that we give the EDA over the past 7 years. So that's a pretty good return on investment. Now there's some years in there where there wasn't much, and those, it was in 22, 23, and 24. There wasn't really much of a build out going on with things right then. But in 25 and 26, we've, especially in 25 with the BFP expansion, you see them being able to really leverage that and bring in, let's see, it was $379,000 was their budget, and they were able to bring in $2,100,000 in grants and help for that. So that is what, almost 7 times. Some just rough napkin math on that.
And along those lines, I did request from them, from July 1 last year through 1st of May, they asked for the projects that they'd ask us to keep the funds at $750 so they could do matching funds when needed for economic development. So I said, okay, what projects did you fund last year? And they gave me, Riverside was one, Carter Fall was one, even though I think it was in this year. But there were 3 projects, and I said, okay, what's the amount that we matched? We had to match. And I asked this question last Wednesday, and I still don't have that information. So they're saying they need money to match, but I don't think they matched any this past year. I don't have it yet. But, and if they're giving us back $750,000 or $740 in a loan, that's telling me we don't need that money until 2030. So what do they want the money for if they're giving it back to us in the form of a loan? Just raises questions with me.
One question I've had, and maybe Darrell or Bill could answer this. The building we're sitting in, the EDA is receiving rent or lease, whatever you call it, from other organizations, am I correct? Yes, the social services downstairs, maybe the health department. Am I correct? Did the EDA build this building, or did they get money from the Tobacco Commission? Do you two know how that happened? Either one of you were the only ones around.
The second story of this building is done through a loan tied into Riverside, right, Sally? So when you're paying the Riverside yearly payment, you're also paying a payment where you're sitting right now. If you hadn't, you'd be stuck down there in that little, where the sheriff's office is. It's where we used to be when I first came on board. But this building, and we've had to move a lot of people out of the courthouse to make more room for the judges, so we didn't have to spend $30 million a building onto the courthouse. We moved to Commissioner Avenue, we moved to Treasurer, we moved to the Registrar's office. We moved a whole bunch of stuff to this building because it was cheaper to build a second story and move all them people here rather than have to redo the courthouse and spend, what was it, Bill? Was it 30 million or something? 35?
About 25 million.
25 to build onto the courthouse because the judges was telling you was going to have to do it. They had to have more room because the crime is out of sight.
All that really makes a lot of sense, how you came to need this building and how you got it. But the money is going back to EDA. They're making payments to the Tobacco Commission.
They pay the money back. It goes through them. Everything that's financed through the county goes through EDA. It don't go through us.
The Tobacco Commission was not involved in this?
I don't think so.
It was a loan, right, Sally?
Yeah.
We took out a loan to build this second story because it was cheaper to do that than it was to build onto the courthouse.
We as the board took on a loan for EDA.
Yes.
Through EDA.
Yeah,
Through EDA.
Pretty much any financing has to go through, even the school additions had to get approved through EDA. I mean, everything goes through an
Any loan you
EDA.
get goes through EDA.
Or a conduit, yeah, for loan purposes or borrowing them.
All right, back to the motion on the table, the vote of no confidence. Let's go ahead and have a roll call, because I know Andy's going to ask for that.
Does that include the research for the resignations? Or
That's just the no confidence and the resignation thing piece to be researched and approached later.
Okay, so we'll vote a no confidence for the board and director, or is that what the
Yes.
motion is? Okay, roll call.
So, hold on. So the no confidence vote, Sally, I mean, what are we saying? I mean,
You're voting no confidence
because I don't, or we
yes, you
don't
do that.
have, we don't, or we do?
Yes
Okay, gotcha.
or no, is that the way
Just
it will
making
vote?
sure I understood, cause
Vote of no confidence,
I
yeah.
wanna vote
A yes
wrong.
vote would be
Again.
that you have a vote of no confidence.
A yes vote would be,
A vote of no
A
confidence.
vote of no confidence.
okay, my vote's no,
Okay, yeah, so Darrell Jeter, District 1 is a no.
yes. I mean, no.
This is no confidence in the director and the board.
Yes.
So Darrell Jeter's a no. Michelle Glover, District 2.
it's a no.
Eddie Skeen, District 3.
Yes.
Michael Bricky, District 4.
I'm gonna have to say no because I still have confidence in them as individuals.
Danny Castile, District 5.
Yes.
Chris Manus, District 6.
No. Because they're still-
Stephanie Addington at large.
No, and I concur with Michael and say that it's the folks, especially the board members.
So 5-2, the motion fails, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, were there any other supervisor comments, requests, or recommendations? Moving on, we do have one item for closed session today, and let's see. We have one item going to closed session. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make that motion.
And can I get a second?
I'll say,
On a motion by Michelle Glover, duly seconded by Darrell Jeter, this board hereby enters into closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711, personnel, county administrator. And does it, sorry, everybody vote by way of saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, we can go into closed session. We can have a short recess, but let's try to.